You are listening to PastThink.com audiobook. Please like and subscribe, thank you. Chapter 53. Gong Sunshing by a magic trick defeats Gao Yan. The black whirlwind descends into a well to rescue Chai Jin. Disciple, said true man Luo the Immortal, the spell you have learned is the same as Gao Yan, but I will now disclose to you the means of controlling thunder so that you can help Song Jiang to guard the country and pacify the people as an agent appointed by heaven. You need not be anxious about your mother, as I will see that she is well looked after. You are one of the stars of the constellation, and therefore I let you go for some time. You must remember what I told you of the divine principles, and avoid being deceived by human desire, as this will upset your plans. Gong Sunshing kowtowed and received the method for controlling thunder. He, Li Kuei, and Dai Zong saluted Luo and the other priests there. They then went to Gong Sunshing's home where he put on his traveling dress, took his double-edged sword, and after bidding adieu to his mother they all departed. When they had walked about 10 li, Dai Zong said he would go in advance to Gaotang Prefecture and announce their approach. Gong Sunshing agreed to this and promised that they would follow behind. On the road I want you to wait upon Gong Sunshing, said Dai Zong to Li Kuei. You must also be careful to avoid all further trouble. He has the same magic power as Luo, so how dare I deceive him, asked Li Kuei. Dai Zong then put on his enchanted puttees and vanished from sight. Gong Sunshing and Li Kuei continued their way, and towards evening stopped at an inn. Li Kuei had felt the great powers of Luo the Immortal, and therefore he dared not display his temper, but waited upon Gong Sunshing with every attention. On the third day they came to the town of Wugong, where the streets were very crowded. As they were both tired, Gong Sunshing said they would get some vegetarian food at that market town. They entered a small inn at the side of the street, sat down, and ordered food from the waiter. What kind of vegetarian cakes have you? Asked Gong Sunshing. We have only wine and meat, replied the waiter. But at the entrance of the street you can get cakes made with dates. I will go and buy the cakes, said Li Kuei. He went and after purchasing the food was on his way back to the inn when he heard the applause. How strong. Looking round, Li Kuei saw a big crowd round a very big man, who was holding a heavy iron hammer, with a head as big as a watermelon. His face was pockmarked. The hammer, Li Kuei thought, must have weighed about 30 jin. The man swung it round, and brought it down on a stone in the street, and broke the latter into small bits. The crowd applauded this exhibition of strength, but Li Kuei did not think it amounted to much. So putting the cakes in his breast he stepped forward, and took hold of the hammer. What are you doing? Who are you? Asked the owner. These people applaud you, but what for? Asked Li Kuei. It does not seem very wonderful. You just watch me do it. You may try, said the man, but if you fail the penalty will be a blow from my fist. Li Kuei lifted the hammer, and after whirling it round his head brought it down on the ground lightly and with ease. His face was not red, his heart did not palpitate, and his breathing was regular. He looked quite cool and collected. The tall man seeing this, saluted, and asked for his name. Where do you come from? Asked Li Kuei. I live just opposite, replied the man. He then conducted Li Kuei to his home, and upon reaching the house he unlocked the door, and asked Li Kuei to be seated. Li Kuei noticed that the room contained all kinds of implements of a blacksmith, a hammer, a stove, tongs, steel punches, and so on. He thought that the man must be a blacksmith, and as they had no such person at their stronghold it would be a good thing to invite this man to join them. He asked the man his name. I am Tang Long, and my father was a military official at Yan'an Prefecture, Shaanxi Province. This year my father died, and through gambling I have lost all the money. I work here as a blacksmith, and like to practice the use of lance and stick. Because of my pockmarked face the people call me the cash-marked leopard. I beg to ask for your honorable name. Li Kuei told him, and also that he came from Liangshan Marsh. Upon hearing this the man saluted, and said he had heard of Li Kuei's fame, and was very fortunate to meet such a hero. Then Li Kuei suggested that he should go with him to Liangshan Marsh and join the bandits there. The man agreed to this at once. Li Kuei then asked him to go with him to the inn to be introduced to Gong Sunsheng. The man got a few things together and left his house to follow Li Kuei. Upon reaching the inn, Li Kuei duly introduced the new partner and explained fully how they had met. After a meal together, they three all started on their journey. When near their destination, they met Dai Zong, and Gong Sunsheng inquired whether there had been any more fighting. Gao Lian's wound is nearly healed now, replied Dai Zong, and every day there is fighting. Song Jiang has been acting merely on the defensive, awaiting your arrival. The four men then went on their way to Gaotang Prefecture, and soon reached the bandits' camp. Their Tang Long was introduced and duly joined the brigands. They were all pleased to see Gong Sunsheng. The next day there was a general council held of all the leaders to discuss their future plans. Gong Sunsheng said that orders could be issued for a general advance on Gaotang Prefecture. He would go and see what the opposing army was doing. The next day the bandits all moved forward fully equipped, with flying banners, rolling of drums, and clash of gongs. Song Jiang, Wu Yong, and Gong Sunsheng rode in the front. Gao Lian had been informed of the approach of the bandits, ordered his army to leave the town. The two bodies of fighting men soon met and stood in ranks. There was a great display of banners and a great noise of drums and gongs. Song Jiang and the two leaders advanced. Gao Lian was seated on his horse surrounded by about 30 officers with a large flag. As Song Jiang approached, Gao Lian shouted, "You thieves! As you come here to fight, I hope you won't run away this time when you are defeated. Running away does not look nice." Song Jiang turned and asked who would volunteer for a single combat. Hua Rong immediately set spurs to his horse and dashed forward without saying a word. Gao Lian also asked for a champion to meet Hua Rong, and Shui Yuanhui dashed forward. These two fought for a long time, and then Hua Rong retired. Immediately Shui Yuanhui pursued him, flourishing his sword. Hua Rong, however, got his bow, and turning round in his saddle shot an arrow, which wounded Shui, who fell off his horse. The troops applauded. Gao Lian was very angry at this, and taking his copper plate from his saddle he beat it with his sword. Immediately a yellow cloud of dust arose, and obliterating the sunlight made the field quite dark. Out of the cloud now emerged all kinds of strange animals, tigers, leopards, and insects. The troops shouted and moved forward. Gong Sunsheng, however, on his horse took his sword, and waving it towards the approaching troops called out, "Go!" A flash of light emerged from his sword, and meeting the weird animals they all fell down. The assembled troops now saw that these animals had only been made of paper, as they were all consumed by the flame. The yellow cloud of dust also disappeared. Song Jiang now ordered his men to charge, and they, meeting the opposing troops, entered into conflict. It was soon over, and Gao Lian and his troops retreated into the town. When Song Jiang came up, they found the bridge drawn up, and the town gate closed, and the troops on the wall shower stones and blocks of wood on them. Song Jiang then gave the signal for his men to withdraw, and slowly they returned to their camping ground. The men were rewarded for the victory, and Gong Sunsheng was loudly praised. The next day the bandits surrounded the town on all sides. Gong Sunsheng said to Song Jiang and Wu Yong, "Yesterday we defeated more than half of the opposing army, but we did not touch the bodyguard of Gao Lian. Today we must attack with great force. Tonight they will probably attack our camp, so we will leave the camp deserted, and station our troops at other points all round. We must instruct our men to remain quiet until they hear a clap of thunder, and see a large flame in the camp, when they must rush towards the camp." Orders were given accordingly, and in the afternoon the brigands were withdrawn from the town, and were given a good feed in the camp. When it was dark the men were divided under their various leaders and all left the camp. Song Jiang, Gong Sunsheng, and several other leaders took up a position on a mound near the camp. That night Gao Lian provided his bodyguard with iron gourds filled with saltpeter and gunpowder. Each man also had a hooked sickle, an iron broom, and a whistle. Near midnight the town gate was opened, and his men marched out. Gao Lian was on horseback and used his magic spells. A strong wind sprung up which whirled stones and dust in all directions. The soldiers soon lit their gunpowder, blew their whistles, and advanced in the great confusion. Gong Sunshing now used his magic, and in the deserted camp there was a clap of thunder with many flashes of lightning. Gao Lian's troops saw that the camp was deserted, and being frightened by the spectacle they all tried to retreat. But they now found their way blocked by the bandits who attacked fiercely, and in the end not a single one of the 300 troops was left alive. Gao Lian, however, had been able to get back to the town with about 9 of his bodyguard of 30 men. Upon entering the gate he gave orders for the drawbridge to be raised and the gate closed. He then ordered all the people in the town to mount guard on the walls. The next day Song Jiang surrounded the town with his bandits. Gao Lian considered that all his study of magic was of no avail, as he had been thoroughly defeated. What could he do? He decided that the only thing left was to send to the surrounding districts and ask for help. He wrote 2 letters accordingly and sent messengers with them. Both of the prefects concerned had been appointed by his elder brother in the capital, so he thought they could not refuse assistance. Wu Yong saw the 2 messengers leave the town, but said, "We must not stop them, but let them go. We can make use of their plot to defeat them." "What is your plan?" asked Song Jiang. "Evidently there are very few soldiers in the town now," said Wu Yong, "and they are sending for reinforcements. We must get 2 squadrons of cavalry and delude the people in the town that they are reinforcements for them. We must arrange for a sham battle and let the supposed reinforcements win. Then Gao Lian will open the town gate and welcome them. When however he finds out his mistake he will probably try to leave the town by some means, and we must look out for him and capture him." Song Jiang applauded this plot, and sent Dai Zong to Liangshan Marsh to bring 2 squadrons of cavalry. Gao Lian had gathered a great deal of straw and grass to a vacant spot on the wall with the idea of burning this at night so as to guide the reinforcements should they arrive after dusk. A few days afterwards the outposts reported to Gao Lian that the bandits were fighting against some troops. Gao Lian went to the observation post and saw a large body of cavalry fighting against the brigands. Many bandits were on the grounds and others were running away. Gao Lian considered that these were the reinforcements, so he mustered his soldiers, had the city gates opened, and marched out his soldiers to attack the bandits. He saw Song Jiang, Huarong, and Qin Ming leaving the battlefield by a small side road. He advanced to pursue them, but just then many gongs were sounded on a hill some distance away, and suspecting some trap he ordered a retreat. As he retreated he found that he was surrounded by brigands on his left and right who were closing in. He hastened his retreat, but about half of his men were cut off and taken prisoners. Looking towards the town he saw the brigands' flags flying there. He looked round for the supposed reinforcements, but could not see a single man. He, therefore, led his men towards a small hill to escape, but when near he saw a large body of brigands already there. He turned to try to find another way, but saw bandits on all sides. He dismounted his horse with the idea of going up the hillside on foot. He soon realized that he was being hemmed in again, and reciting a spell he caused a black cloud on which he mounted himself and ascended into the sky. Gong Sunshing had however seen this, and uttering a spell he caused the cloud to descend bringing Gao Lian to the ground. There Gao Lian was attacked by Inspector Lei Heng who soon killed him. Upon receiving news of the death of Prefect Gao Lian, Song Jiang entered the town with his men, and issued an order that the people were not to be disturbed by his men nor anything looted. He then went to the city prison to release the prisoners, and found that all the jailers had left their posts and run away. He released about 50 prisoners without however finding any trace of Squire Chai Jin. In one cell, however, he found the family of Chai Jin's uncle, and then in another cell found all the family of Squire Chai Jin. As Gao Lian had very little spare time he had postponed cross-examining them until a later time. Just then Li Kuei came on the scene and offered to go down the well. "As you have involved him in trouble," said Song Jiang, "you must make recompense for him." "I will go down." "I am not afraid," said Li Kuei laughingly, but don't cut the rope." "That is a villainous thought," said Wu Yong. "Of course we shall not cut the rope." A basket was obtained and fastened to the end of the rope. A three-legged derrick was erected over the well with the rope running over the top. Li Kuei got in the basket and was slowly lowered down. Upon reaching the bottom, Li Kuei got out of the basket and began to feel around in the dark. He felt some bones and was rather upset by this. He however felt around but found nothing. It was all mud and water. He again searched round and found a small hole in the side of the well, and there he felt a man. "Squire Chai Jin," he called out, but got no reply. He took hold of the man who was still breathing. "Thanks to heaven and earth, I have saved your life," said Li Kuei. He took his seat in the basket and rang a small bell that was fastened to the rope. The basket was pulled up, and upon reaching the top he explained that Squire Chai Jin had been found. "Then you must go down again and send Squire Chai Jin up first," said Song Jiang. "When I went to Jizhou I was deceived twice, so that today I do not want to be fooled again," said Li Kuei. "We certainly will not fool you," said Song Jiang. "You quickly go down." Li Kuei went down again, placed Squire Chai Jin in the basket, and rang the bell on the rope. The basket was pulled up, and everybody was pleased to see Squire Chai Jin again. He was almost unconscious, had big wounds on his thigh and head. A doctor was sent for at once. Li Kuei thought they had forgotten him, and shouted loudly. Song Jiang, hearing this, had the basket lowered, and they soon brought Li Kuei up in the basket. Upon getting to the top, Li Kuei was angry. He said, "You people are bad. Why didn't you lower the basket for me at once? We saw that Squire Chai Jin was very badly wounded, and for the moment forgot about you. Please excuse us," said Song Jiang. A cart was obtained and Squire Chai Jin was laid down in it. Others were obtained for Chai Jin's relatives, and altogether about 20 carts set off for Liangshan Marsh. On the way the bandits did not trouble the people. Within a few days Squire Chai Jin recovered, and was given quarters near Song Jiang's at Liangshan Marsh. The victory of the bandits under Song Jiang was duly reported by the prefects of Dongchang and Kozhou to the minister at the eastern capital. Marshal Gao Qiu of the Imperial Guard learned that his cousin prefect Gao Lian had been defeated and killed by the bandits. Early the next morning before dawn, he went to the palace to have an audience with the emperor. There were many ministers and high officials also waiting for the audience. About 4:30 a.m. the emperor appeared and took his seat on the throne. An official called out, "Those who have business may now speak. If there is no business, His Imperial Majesty will retire." Gao Qiu stepped out of the ranks of the standing officials and addressed the throne. At Liangshan Marsh in Jizhou there is a strong company of bandits under Song Jiang and Chao Gai. They have ravaged the surrounding country and done great damage to the people and their property. This is a vile state of affairs. If they are not suppressed, I am afraid the province will be in danger. I await your Majesty's order. The emperor was surprised at the news and issued a decree that Gao Qiu use all the necessary military forces to suppress the bandits at once. Marshal Gao Qiu decided to send to Ruining Prefecture in Henan Province for a famous general named Huyen Zhua to take charge of the expedition, and the imperial edict was issued accordingly. Upon that man's arrival the emperor presented him with a black horse. Gao Qiu and Huyen Zhua then discussed details, and the latter recommended 2 other generals to assist him. Merit should be comprehended. Virtue entered honors list.